Hello everyone, welcome back, and this will be a beginner's guide to winching. So first of all, make sure you have a winch. Second of all, when you are driving, if you are going to get stuck, or you feel yourself getting stuck and you're not really making progress, don't sit there spinning the tires, especially if you have a winch or another car there to pull you out. Just stop, before you dig yourself deeper. The deeper you dig yourself, the harder it's going to be to get out. So a couple of little basic things that you need. Obviously you need the winch, but I've got a few things out here. So I've got my winch, I've got my remote. So the first thing you got to do, you either plug the remote in, or some have receivers that you plug in and whatnot. Make sure the winch is serviceable. Make sure that your rope is in good condition. Mine's seen better days, but it's still not too bad. I'm not actually obviously stuck here. This is just a demonstrative purposes. Next thing you need, we're going to use this stump here. Now, tree selection or anchor point selection is very important. I'm going to use this stump here just as a demonstrative purpose. I'm not actually going to pull any weight on it or anything like that, but it's just so I can show you how the winch works and how to set it up and whatnot. So first thing you want to do is obviously get yourself a basic recovery kit. A basic recovery kit will set you back probably about $100, $150, $200, depending on what you get in the kit. There's many different components, but for winching, basically you want a winch blanket. This is a what's called a block and tackle or a pulley system. You can get these little like rings where it's just this ring part here. That works too. And then this is a tree trunk protector. Got to protect nature. So the tree trunk protector, obviously you put it around your tree like so. Once you put this around your tree, make sure you've got your winch length right. So for me, I've parked close so I don't have to pull too much of the winch out, but we'll put you over here and we'll hopefully capture the rest of it. Oop, hang on a second here. It's not. All right, so basically now you've got your strap. Grab your hook and you're going to put your hook through your strap like so. Once you've done that, it's pretty much ready to go. But before you do anything else, you want to get your blanket, and then you're going to put this over where the joint is like so. At this point, you're ready to winch. You'd winch in, little minimal bit of throttle, maybe to just keep the revs up, or if you're like me, I've got a idle up function on the Land Cruiser, so you can idle up, let the winch do most of the work. You want to go 30 seconds on, 30 seconds off. Now, if you're really stuck, so that's your basic setup. But if you're really stuck and you have no other option, no other choice, one thing I've actually forgotten to do is I haven't got my D-shackle here with me to attach this. But this is where you get your block and pulley in, or block and tackle, whatever you want to call it. You grab your line. I've got a little bit more cable out, so I'll take you with me. Hang on. All right, so got to let a little bit more rope out here. So we that should hopefully be enough, but we still need a D-shackle. So sometimes you'll forget stuff, even I do. Where is it? It'll be in here somewhere. This is the other thing. Know where your recovery gear is, because you want to have it all ready if you're actually going to get stuck. You want to be able to get out, especially if you're in water, as quickly as you can. Now, there it is. Aha. I have D-shackles. There are soft shackles out there now. I've never used them, so I can't really comment. But, I've got D-shackles. That's just what I use. That's what I've always had. So, yeah. So now, to set this up, it's a little bit, there's not a lot involved in it, but it's a little bit more complex. Take your rope. You put it through your pulley system, like so. Right? You're then going to take your D-shackle. You're going to put it through here. And then you're going to grab your straps. And your straps are going to go through the D-shackle as well. Make sure you do it up. And you want to do it up firm, but not too tight. You know. This then is going to become a double line pull. Same as before. You grab your blanket. So this is what it'll look like. And then you grab your blanket, put your blanket over the connections. You would then grab this rope and you're going to come back with this rope. So that's all set up. And I didn't quite let enough rope out, but you'd take the hook and you'd pop it up on here. So we'll let a little bit more rope out. Just give me a second. That should hopefully be enough. And then you hook that. For me, I know what some of you are going to say, that's a tie down point, not a recovery point. I know. I have made so many recoveries off of this point and it hasn't come undone yet. Let me just show you real quick. This, it's bolted up to the chassis. This right here, tie down point. This right here, that is, as far as I can tell, a recovery point. Tie down point, recovery point. All right. That is the way I see it, but correct me if I'm wrong. I'm happy to be educated. All right. But as far as I can tell, that is a factory Toyota recovery point. Now, I need to get one for that side too, because you're better off splitting the load, but I don't have one. So I've only got one. Next thing's next. Make sure you don't do what I've done and get your winch controller caught up in the rope here. So we'll just tension this up a little bit. And so now with that at tension, some important things in play here. It's not very much tension on it, so we're fine to sort of be around it at the moment, but generally speaking, don't be anywhere near this when it's set up. If it lets go, you don't want to be anywhere near it. So make sure everyone stands nice and clear away from it when you're doing this kind of stuff. Yeah, make sure everything is still attached and secure. Whether you're doing a single line pull or a double line pull like this, make sure it's attached and it's secure. So this anchor point, terrible anchor point, but it's just an educational purposes one, right? We're not trying to, we're not trying to obviously get the car out of a bog or anything. So this is just a demonstration of how to set up. A good anchor point would be a good solid tree. Now, that over there, that big gum tree, great anchor point. You'd set it up exactly the same as I have it here if you're stuck and whatnot, and that's fine. Now, winches come with a lot of rope, so you're generally pretty good. You won't need an extension strap. If you did need an extension strap for a double line pull, all you would do is hook, say the hook on the end here will get hooked to the extension strap if you're further away, and then the other end of the extension strap would be hooked to the car via a D-shackle. So pretty easy, pretty straightforward. But yeah, make sure everything is sitting in place as it needs to be. So if you look here, it's pulling on the D-shackle, it's all good. It's a little bit of a mess, there's a lot going on here. I should probably, rather than pulling it from this way, I should probably have these sort of sitting in here a bit more or whatever, but it's not going to be perfect, and if it gets you out, it's what matters. So obviously make sure your rope is sort of sitting in the wheel properly, which it is, and then from here you would just do your 30 seconds on, 30 seconds off, 30 seconds on, 30 seconds off, until you pulled yourself out. Now obviously I'm very close to this stump. Again, educational purposes, there's no need for me to be, there's no need for me to be like ages back and let out shitloads of winch wire to show you this, or winch cable to show you this. That is your basic single line setup and double line setup. So if you're really stuck, that's where you pull out a double line pull. You know, don't just keep winching mindlessly. If you feel like the car's loading up a lot and it's not going, just stop, reset, do a double line pull. It might take you a bit longer, but if you're stuck and you have no other car, or you might not be able to get a car in front of you or behind you to pull you out, and the winch is all you've got, and I have been in this situation before, take your time. You do not want to snap a winch line. You know, if it's all you've got, you don't want to wreck it, because then you might be in a world of hurt. Some other things you can do if you're really stuck: dig out the tires a little bit. You know, carry like a little military sort of folding shovel or whatever it is. You know, I think I have a King one. Again, you know, I've used it a handful of times. It works. It's not the best shovel in the world, but like, I think it was like $12 or something. It was cheap as. So it's just like, look, just throw it in there. It's a hassle-free thing. You know, if you have some extra money and you can afford them, I still don't have them yet. Max Tracks is great. 4 of them. You want 4. Yeah, I know you can get out using 2, but 4 is better. You know, dig out in front of the tires, put the Max Tracks in, winch, all in, you know, together, would put you in a position where, you know, you would essentially gain, you know, a lot more chance of you getting out easier, without doing damage to your vehicle, which is the main part. You know, we don't want to do damage to the vehicle. Look, I think that's about it, covering off on winching. It's a very basic and short video. The one thing I will cover off on, snatch straps, very, very quickly. So myself personally, when I snatch a vehicle out, I do it via my tow hitch. All right, do it via in there, and I attach the pin. I attach the strap directly to the pin. Now, there's a lot of arguments with this one on, oh no, you need to have a proper receiver in there. So you put the receiver in, and then you have a D-shackle attached to the receiver, and then you know, do it. But what's that receiver attached to? It's attached to this pin. And last I checked, those receivers are hollow in the middle. So it's not spreading the load out across the pin any more than what it would be. You know, your snatch strap is going to spread the load across the whole center of the pin. And I'll tell you one thing. If I snap this pin, right, I would much rather have the pin flying at me or at my friend than an entire receiver with a D-shackle attached to it. Now, again, you'd winch blanket it, so hopefully that would save you. But these pins, they're very strong. This is designed to essentially hold a tow hitch receiver in and tow with up to 3.5 ton behind it. Yeah, you're probably going to exert more snap force than that. I have done countless recoveries with a snatch strap with this pin, and look at it. It is still dead straight. Haven't broken it yet. Haven't had a problem yet. Yeah. Ideally, if you had dual recovery points on the back, you would do one from either side, and then, you know, like do sort of like a V shape or whatever, and then to the car, so you're spreading the load across the entire chassis. Again, this kind of does that. Not really, but kind of, because you're putting it in the middle, but the tow bar is attached to both chassis rails. So you're kind of getting that same sort of a spread. But again, look, each to each their own. I know that there's going to be people out there that will disagree and be like, oh no, you're wrong and whatnot. That's fine. Like, I get it, you know, and I don't want people to sit here and think that I am right by, you know, any, you know, like that my way's the only way. This is what I've done since I was about 17, 18 years old. Every time I've recovered a vehicle, I've done it on, when I had my LN106 Hilux, I've done it with my Land Cruiser. I tell you what, my LN106 Hilux pulled out a 3-ton patrol. And if you don't know, like, an LN106 Hilux is only about 1,500 kilos. So half the weight. I was backing up to his bull bar and full throttling third gear in low range, and I pulled him out via one of these. So yeah, you can use them. Don't be afraid. Again, I personally think that I'd much rather have that fly at me than an entire tow hitch assembly. If you snap that pin anyway, then that's what's going to happen. So that's just my logic behind it. I mean, it's just food for thought. If you feel more comfortable using the whole hitch assembly with a D-shackle, go for it. You know, dealer's choice. You're the one doing the recovery. You take responsibility for how you set it up and what you do and everything like that. You know, at the end of the day, you want to minimize the chance that you do damage to your vehicle or you do damage to the other vehicle you're trying to recover. So it's just, you do what you're comfortable with. This is just my way of doing it. And for those who don't know, I figured that this is just a good little tidbit to add on. All right, thanks for watching that one. Hopefully these have been helpful for people. Obviously, if you want more videos like this, or you know, whatever, hopefully I'll get some trip videos up soon. Just like and subscribe. I am very, very busy with work. I'm going to try and get like all these videos I filmed today up very quickly so that you have like a bit of content to binge on. But then there might be a bit of radio silence for a little while. So, you know, just bear with me. I film whenever I can. I don't have a lot of opportunities, unfortunately. I work a lot of hours. So yeah, if you want to know when the next videos are coming up, you're just going to have to subscribe, get a notification, and then yeah, like I'll hopefully see you in the next one. Thanks, bye.